You're listening to How to Drink Less, and I'm your host, Adriana Cloud. Whether your goal is to cut back, take a break, or say goodbye to alcohol for good, this podcast will help you stop drinking on autopilot, learn how to manage cravings, and feel fully in control around alcohol. It's easier than you think. Listen on to find out how. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for another episode. I hope you're enjoying the spring, if it's spring where you are. We've had some beautiful, warm, sunny days over here in the UK, and I'm just grateful for everything that is blooming, and I hope that things are blooming where you are. Now, let's dive in because I have a really great episode for you today. Last week, I had binge eating coach Amber Abila join me on the podcast to talk about the link between food cravings and alcohol cravings and why we tend to reach for the snacks more often when we're trying to quit drinking. If you've ever found yourself eating more than you want to or eating when you're not even really hungry, that episode will connect a lot of dots for you, so make sure to check it out. It's episode 54. But today, I want to build on that conversation and talk about how alcohol affects our weight goals and our exercise goals, and more generally, how drinking might interfere with our fitness in ways that we haven't realized. Now, before we go any further, let me be super clear on something. I am not suggesting that everyone should be counting calories or have it as their goal to lose weight or to exercise regularly or to be fit in the conventional sense of that word. For the record, I do not believe that thinner automatically equals healthier, nor do I believe that a person's weight, size, shape, strength, or fitness level have anything to do with their fundamental worthiness or lovability. And I also believe that your body, your decisions. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but if you're trying to be more mindful of what you put in your body and how you treat your body, and if fitness or weight loss are things that you care about and are working on, then grab a chair and let's talk, because what I see again and again is a profound lack of information about alcohol and its effect on fitness and weight. I am frankly astounded how often advice about exercise and weight doesn't even mention alcohol. You will find any number of articles and social media posts praising omega-3s and fermented foods like kimchi and telling you how much protein you should be eating with every meal. And there's content upon content about the benefits of strength training. But when it comes to alcohol, at most you get some vague warning to limit alcohol consumption. We obsess over food and carbs and protein. We construct elaborate workout routines. We track our steps and our sleep and how much we can bench press. But somehow we ignore alcohol. It gets a free pass, like it doesn't even count. And that's the gap I want to fill today. If you've ever felt like your workouts are harder than they should be, your energy is inconsistent, or you're not seeing results despite putting in the effort, alcohol could be part of the picture. I want to help you understand how alcohol influences your outcomes so you can make more informed decisions going forward. First, let's talk about what happens on a physiological level when you drink. Alcohol has no nutritional value. It doesn't deliver anything useful to your body, which is why you might have heard people say that alcohol is empty calories. There are no nutrients in alcohol, so you're just taking in calories that are doing nothing good for your body. So if you're someone concerned with calories and macros, you might want to pay attention to the calories in alcohol because you might be surprised. A medium glass of wine has about 140-150 calories, which is about the same as a small bowl of ice cream. A pint of beer is generally over 200 calories, so about the same as a slice of pizza. So if you have 2 or 3 drinks per day, you might be adding 400 to 600 calories to your daily intake, which can be the equivalent of a whole meal. And most people are not replacing food with alcohol. I say most people because I know there are exceptions, but most people are drinking on top of what they're already eating. So the alcohol is extra calories. And then there's the fact that alcohol is a toxin. So once you've started drinking, your body treats alcohol as something that it needs to get rid of immediately. That becomes the absolute priority. This means that when you're drinking, your body is so focused on getting rid of the alcohol that it slows down metabolism and fat burning. So you're more likely to store fat, especially around the middle, and that type of fat around your midsection can be particularly harmful because it sits around vital organs in your body, including your liver. Alcohol also triggers inflammation within hours of drinking. And with regular drinking, that inflammation becomes chronic, which means your body consistently prioritizes fat storage over fat burning. Inflammation also leads to an increase in cortisol levels. Cortisol is the stress hormone, which is also known for promoting fat gain, especially around the middle. When you have alcohol in your system, your body also becomes less efficient at absorbing and using the nutrients from the food that you're eating. That's because your body is trying to direct all energy to processing the toxin, aka the alcohol, which means that, on the one hand, even if you eat healthy, nutritious meals, alcohol prevents your body from getting the full benefit of that delicious, nutritious food. You might be buying organic vegetables and free-range, hormone-free, non-GMO meat and dairy. And if you also drink alcohol, you're not getting all the nutrients from your food. And on the other hand, alcohol might also make you eat more because it interferes with the hormones that affect your appetite, and it makes you feel hungry, even when you're not actually hungry. And depending on how much you've had to drink, your inhibitions might be lowered, and the more rational part of your brain might be offline. So you might not make the best nutritional decisions, and you might end up eating junk food or eating more than you would eat if you were sober. So it's not just that alcohol makes you eat more, you're also more likely to make questionable food choices when you're not sober. And we need to talk about exercise too. Because alcohol affects your body's ability to convert food into energy, you don't perform at your best after you've been drinking, and you have less endurance. And I'm not just talking about when you're trying to exercise hungover, which I know some people do, because there's this myth that persists that you can sweat out a hangover with a run or a tough workout at the gym. You can't sweat out a hangover. Your body just doesn't work that way, I'm sorry to tell you. We already talked about fat burning slowing down or pausing when you've been drinking. Your liver can't simultaneously process alcohol and burn fat, so burning fat is, well, on the back burner, pun not intended. And this doesn't end when you stop feeling hungover. It can last for a day or a day and a half after drinking. So a Saturday night out drinking affects your Sunday workout or even your Monday morning workout. Alcohol also affects muscle building for about 24 hours after drinking. You might be on that treadmill for an hour and then lifting weights afterwards, but you're just not getting the full benefit of the workout if you were drinking the night before. Alcohol also makes your muscles fatigue faster, and it slows down recovery, which can make you feel more sore and more tired after a workout. And drinking makes cramps more likely too, because alcohol dehydrates you, and when you lose water from your body, you also lose important minerals like magnesium and potassium, which your muscles need to function properly. It's not that the workout doesn't count if you've been drinking the night before. No movement or exercise is ever wasted, but you're just not getting the full return on your investment of time and effort. That means you might not get the results you're expecting from the exercise, even if you're working out regularly and pushing yourself quite hard. And you might find yourself feeling tired and unmotivated rather than energized and ready to go. And you might even think that you're doing something wrong if you're not seeing the fat loss or the muscle buildup that you expect to see, given the amount of exercise you get, which might even lead you to give up working out altogether. And of course, that's not what we want. So it's just important to recognize how, when you're doing the work and showing up, if you're still drinking, behind the scenes, alcohol is sabotaging your efforts and making it harder than it needs to be to benefit from exercising. I need to say a word about sleep too. I'm going to do a whole separate episode on alcohol and sleep, but the part that is relevant for our conversation today is that when you sleep with alcohol in your system, that's poor quality sleep. Even if you're unconscious for 8 hours, that's not restful sleep. And poor sleep can increase your appetite. It also slows down metabolism. And it also leads to increased levels of cortisol. And I already talked about how cortisol contributes to fat storage around the midsection. So that's the link between sleep and the food you eat and how that food is absorbed by your body. And there's also the link between sleep and exercise. Alcohol disrupts your sleep, and sleep is where your body repairs and rebuilds. So even if you don't show up to the gym hungover, if you drank the night before, the workout will feel harder and recovery will be slower. But they don't put any of that on the wine label, do they? Again, I'm not saying that regular exercise or how much you can lift or a number on the scale make you a better person in any way. I'm not at all saying that everyone's goal should be weight loss or a toned body with chiseled muscles. What I am saying is that if you are trying to lose weight and if you do have any fitness-related goals, then I hope this episode has been helpful as far as understanding how alcohol interferes with those goals and why you might want to think more carefully about what's in your glass. Not because alcohol has calories, not because alcohol is bad for you, but because it's making your goals harder to reach. And you deserve to get the full benefits of eating well and working out. You deserve to have energy and to recover quickly. You deserve to feel good in your body. That's what I want for you. If you know someone who would benefit from this episode, maybe you have a friend who runs 10K 4 times a week but still hits the wine every night, or maybe you know someone who's been struggling to lose belly fat even though they don't eat very much, but they're reluctant to give up their nightly gin and tonics. Please send them this episode so they can better understand what's going on in their bodies and how alcohol might be quietly sabotaging them behind the scenes. And if you're ready to break up with alcohol and live happily ever after, I can help you. You don't have to do this alone. Book a free consultation via the link in the show notes, and let's talk and see if we're a good fit to work together. And even if you decide now isn't the right time to hire me as your coach, that one conversation could still change your life. I can't tell you how many times one sentence someone has said to me or one question someone has asked me has given me an entirely different perspective on whatever I was struggling with, or opened my eyes to a whole lot of possibilities I would have never imagined on my own. So let's chat. I promise I'll make it worth your while. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. If you're looking for practical advice for how to say no to alcohol and say yes to yourself, you will want to get on my email list. Sign up to receive my free guide with 7 steps to kickstart your sobriety. The link is in the show notes, so go and grab it now, and I'll see you soon in your inbox.